Don't even think about saying another word to your ex until you watch this video. I'll explain why in just a sec. Hi, my name's Kevin, and in this short presentation, you're going to learn the real reason why you failed to get your ex back, and how doing what you're doing might actually be pushing them away even further, and killing any chance you have of getting them back, getting over them, or being friends with them later. Watch this video until the end, and you'll also learn the number one thing that you absolutely must do right after a breakup if you ever want to feel better ever again. First, I have to warn you. What I'm going to share in this video is controversial, and it's going to fly in the face of conventional wisdom. I'm going to expose a simple yet horrible truth about love and relationships that will probably hurt you at first and might even make you mad. But I'm going to do it anyway because this one little secret can easily give you the power back in your relationship. I've actually taught the secret to some of my private clients, and they've used it to completely turn their life around. These people paid me a lot of money to learn the secret, so to be fair to them, I'm only going to share this with a few more people, and then I'll be forced to take this video down forever. Now, I don't know how you found this video in the first place, whether you clicked on something online or you got an email about it from me or one of my friends. Whatever the case may be, make sure you watch it now while it's still online, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to leave it up. So before we dive in, I got a question for you. Does it feel like your relationship has completely consumed your entire life? Do you keep replaying everything in your head, analyzing what happened, wondering what you could have done differently? Do you ever feel this crazy, overwhelming urge to contact them? Have you sent them text after text or left long, rambling voicemails and emails, pouring out your heart to them and telling them how much you love them? If you're anything like me after my breakup, then you've probably already tried everything you could possibly think of to get back with your ex. But no matter what you did, what you said, how hard you apologized, or how much you promised to change, it's felt like ramming your head again and again into a brick wall. And now you're probably wondering the same thing that thousands of people have before you. Why? How is it that the person who used to love you and look at you with so much love and desire won't even give you the time of day? How could they just totally shut down their feelings for you while you can barely even go a day without thinking about them? All you want is just one conversation with them, for them to open up and share how they feel. Yet all you seem to get is cold one-word responses. And you constantly feel like you're the one waiting around on them, hanging on their every last word, and analyzing it to death trying to figure out what you should do. Or perhaps you're not getting anything at all. Maybe they're just downright ignoring you and all the silence is killing you. Or maybe you're stuck in an on-again, off-again relationship where you guys are constantly breaking up and getting back together. You wish you could just get things back to how they used to be, but you're sick of all the stress and you don't want to go on living like this. You want so desperately for it to work, but it feels like the relationship is on its last breath and you're starting to lose hope. Or perhaps you've already gone your separate way, but they keep coming back into your life, telling you how much they love you and miss you, and how they want to get back together with you. And of course, you always end up taking them back and then beating yourself up for it a few weeks later. Not to mention all the shit you get about it from your friends and family. Or maybe they've already moved on and found someone else, while you're stuck all alone, thinking about them, wondering if you'll ever find someone again. Or perhaps you're the one that ended the relationship, whether it was because you found out they cheated on you, or maybe you just weren't happy, but now you're having some second thoughts. Regardless of what situation you're in, it's obviously taking a huge toll on your life. It might even be affecting to the point where you have trouble eating and sleeping. You lay in bed at night wondering how they could just throw everything away so easily, especially after all the time you spent together. Didn't this mean anything to them? Is there still a chance you guys might get back together, or is this really it? And if it is, what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to move on with your life without thinking about them and without worrying about what they're doing or how they really feel about you? And maybe that's what you've been trying to do, but you just can't stop thinking about them. Every song you hear reminds you of them, and every place triggers a memory that you guys had together. You can't concentrate at work or at school, and you just can't seem to focus on anything. It's like you have to muster up all the energy you have just to get through the day. It's almost like you're walking around in a daze and you don't even feel like yourself anymore. You try to stay strong and act like everything's fine, but you just feel numb inside. Some days it feels like you're doing fine, but then something happens and you're right back at square one again. It's like you're constantly taking one step forward and two steps back. And you're probably wondering, when is this pain going to stop? And how do I get rid of it so that I can finally get back to normal again? If any of this sounds familiar to you, I want you to know that you're not alone. I was actually in the same shoes as you until I discovered a secret. This secret is what allowed me to not only get my ex back, but also be okay with myself when the relationship eventually ended just a few months later. The secret is also what allowed me to stay friends with my ex after we broke up and actually maintain a normal, healthy relationship where neither of us acts all weird or jealous. Now, you're probably wondering, what's the secret? I call it the attachment principle. Now, I'll explain exactly what it is in just a second. First, I need to tell you the weird story of how I discovered it. This is a story that I'm actually pretty embarrassed to share, yet it's one that you absolutely need to hear because it'll help you figure out what you should do. So I'm going to tell you my embarrassing story first, and then I'm going to explain the attachment principle and the number one thing you need to do next. Deal? Cool. Now, I wasn't always a relationship expert or a best-selling author interviewed on dozens of radio shows sharing advice on how to survive a breakup. In fact, I was completely clueless when it came to relationships. Every time I was dumped, which happened a lot more than any sane man would ever want to admit, it would always devastate me. I would sit at home all alone, driving myself nuts, thinking about everything that happened. I'd obsess over every little thing to the point where it would literally consume me and keep me from living my life. I remember the day that it got so bad that I finally decided enough was enough. I'm going to share the story with you now, even though it's really embarrassing for me. You need to know just how low I sank before I finally discovered the stuff I'm going to share with you today. It was a warm spring night, and I was walking back home from the gym. I just had an amazing workout, and there was a rush of endorphins coursing throughout my body. As I was walking, I suddenly felt my phone vibrate. I reached into my pocket to see who it was. It was my girlfriend. I got a text from her saying, "Hey, my roommate's going out of town for the weekend. You should come over." Now, if I got that text a few months ago, I'd be really excited because I knew we were in for a fun night. But at that point, we hadn't had sex in over a month, and given how dysfunctional our relationship was, I really didn't think that's what she had in mind. Honestly, I didn't have a good feeling about this. We had been on and off for the past 3 months, and we even got to the point where we were that couple that was breaking up and making up every other week. It's really sad because everything was so great in the beginning. We were madly in love, and we thought we were going to spend the rest of our lives together. But as time passed, things started to change. We began fighting and arguing a lot more. We stopped having sex, and she started spending more and more time with her friends. And even when we were together, there was always this weird tension in the air. It's like we were always bickering about something. And the worst part was, I felt like I was the only one trying to keep us together. I was really frustrated, and I just wanted things to be normal again. But that night, I was afraid it was only going to get worse. When I got that text, I started to panic, and I called her to make sure everything was okay. She told me everything was fine, but deep down, I could tell that something was off. After I got off the phone, I felt a tight knot in the pit of my stomach, and I walked back home in a fit of panic, worried that tonight was going to be the night. I hopped in the shower and tried to snap myself out of it, but my mind was racing 100 miles a minute. I thought back to the last time she broke up with me and how it felt like my whole world was falling apart. I fought and did everything I could to try to convince her to stay, only to have my heart shattered by that cold, heartless look on her face. I didn't want to go through that again. I was absolutely terrified of going over there, and I hated myself for letting this get to me. I remember getting out of the shower and looking at myself in the mirror, wondering how the hell I even let myself get to this point. I felt totally lost and helpless. I dropped to the floor with my back against the wall and my head face down in tears, and I started sobbing uncontrollably. I didn't know what else to do. And at that moment, I honestly didn't even want to go on living anymore. I just wanted to crawl under a rock and forget about everything. I was depressed and I had no idea what to do. In fact, I felt like there was nothing that I could even do. And feeling so helpless only made me even more frustrated. I'd literally hit rock bottom. And it was at that moment that I finally decided to do something about it. I picked myself off the ground and I called one of my best friends for advice, the same friend that I confided in the entire relationship. I almost didn't even want to call him because every time I asked for advice, he'd always tell me the same thing. Dude, you need to let go and move on. And while deep down I knew that was probably the right thing to do, I didn't want to lose her. I didn't want to move on. I just wanted her. I just wanted things to go back to how they used to be. But I was so down and desperate that day that I decided to call him anyway. And boy, am I glad I did, because that night he said one simple sentence that literally changed my entire life. Here's what he said. At this point, she's only holding you back from becoming the person you deserve to be. I don't know what it was about that sentence, but a light bulb suddenly went off in my head. I realized this relationship was holding me back. I didn't like who I had become. I felt like I was always dependent on her, and it felt like my entire self-worth was constantly tied to every little thing she did or didn't do. And I was sick and tired of riding this emotional roller coaster. I endured it for months because I wanted so desperately for this relationship to work. But at that moment, something in me had shifted. I realized that this was no longer about her. It was about me. I didn't really realize it until that moment, but there was a part of me that felt like I needed her in order to be happy. Somewhere down the line, I made her responsible for my happiness, and now I felt like I couldn't go on without her. It's like I attached a part of myself to her, and every time she left, I was suddenly faced with this empty void. That's when I realized that I can never depend on other people to make me happy. Sure, they can add to my happiness, but I should never let them define it. This was a big aha moment for me, and in that moment, I made a decision that changed everything. I decided that I was going to do whatever it takes to be happy on my own, so that nothing would affect me like that ever again. After I got off the phone with my friend, I told myself this was it. I wasn't going to fight to get her back like I did in the past. I was going to move on with my life and rebuild myself so that I'd never feel so weak and desperate ever again. I sat down in my bed and I spent a few minutes bracing myself for what I had to do. Then I got up and grabbed my jacket and I headed out the door. I texted her on my way over and told her to meet me downstairs. I walked over there feeling calm and collected. As I turned the corner right before her building, I saw her face in the window waiting for me downstairs. I walked into the building and we took the elevator up with that long, dreaded silence. The tension in the air was so thick that you could cut it with a knife. As we walked into her apartment, I took off my coat and I tossed it on the couch right next to me. And then it happened. My worst fear came true when she said the 4 little words that everyone hates to hear. We need to talk. In the past, I would have totally lost my composure and started panicking, trying to think of something to say to prevent her from leaving. But this time was different. I was totally cool, calm, and collected. I just sat there totally present, listening to everything she had to say. And after she finished, I just sat there calmly and said, okay. I told her that breaking up is probably the best thing for both of us right now. And I felt an incredible sense of peace as I said that. I felt like nothing in the world could affect me. And then I glanced back at her, and I could tell she was beginning to lose her composure. Come on, say something, she yelled. Don't act like you're not hurt by this. You don't have to try to be strong right now. I just sat there calmly, looked her right in the eye, and said, I'm not. Everything's okay. I even let out a sly little smile as I said that. I was shocked at how well I was handling this. I could tell she was starting to get really uncomfortable. She was probably expecting me to freak out like all the other times she broke up with me. And there I was, perfectly fine, with or without her. Now, you're never going to believe what happened next. She suddenly backtracked on everything she said, told me she loved me, and didn't want to leave me. Then she grabbed me tight and held me like she never wanted to let go of me again. All of a sudden, she got really turned on and pulled me on top of her, telling me how badly she wanted to feel me inside her. I clutched her in my arms, and we had the most passionate sex that we ever had that night. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty awesome. But here's what wasn't so awesome. Walking back to my place the next morning, disappointed in myself for giving in. I went over there all fired up, ready to hold my ground, and then I gave in at the first sign of affection like a helpless little sex-deprived puppy. Not only was I completely disappointed with myself, but I was ashamed of going back to my friend and to tell him what happened. Especially after you spent an hour on the phone with me, not to mention the countless hours that he spent helping me throughout the entire relationship. I felt humiliated when I told him what happened, and I felt even more embarrassed when we broke up a few months later. This time for good. But here's the surprising part. After we broke up, I wasn't nearly as devastated as I was before. Sure, it still hurt to lose her, but that feeling of edginess was gone. That empty feeling in the pit of my stomach, that tight pain in my chest, and that feeling of panic and desperation completely vanished. Now you might be wondering, how did I do it? And how was I able to get my ex back in the first place? Well, I didn't realize it at the time, but I actually stumbled upon a simple yet horrible truth about love and relationships, and it goes like this. In every relationship, the person who cares least always has the power. It's really sad, but it's true. The person who's willing to walk away always has the upper hand. Trust me, I know it's a bitter pill to swallow, and it might make you want to say screw relationships altogether, but it's true. And the sooner you embrace this fundamental truth, the sooner you'll be able to get the power back in your relationship. See, after a breakup, we immediately go into a state of shock and we start to panic. And that's because the breakup actually triggers a part of our brain called the amygdala. This is the same part that controls our fight or flight response. And that's when we do everything we can to try to get our ex back. We pour out our heart to them and tell them how much we love them, and we do everything we can to try to convince them to stay. We even promise to change things about ourselves. And the sad part is, most people think this will convince their ex to take them back, when in reality, it actually does the complete opposite. In fact, it usually just makes your ex pull away even further. Why? Because it makes you seem desperate and needy, which is not attractive at all. Just think back to a time when you walked into a store and a salesperson walked up to you right away and started acting really pushy. Your natural reaction was to pull away. Well, the same principle applies here. This is actually based on a fundamental principle that I discovered called the attachment principle. In Buddhism, one of the fundamental teachings is that desire and attachment are the root of all suffering. When things that we want to happen don't happen, we get disappointed. And when things that we don't want to happen, we also get disappointed. In the end, it is our expectations that make us miserable. And even more importantly, it is our attachment to those expectations that ultimately makes us suffer. So the question is, what do you do instead? Well, the first thing you have to do is release all your expectations and break the attachment. You have to detach yourself from the outcome so that you don't come across as needy. See, right now you're desperate to talk to them, desperate to get through to them and touch them and hold them again. You're in an entirely different emotional state right now. And from this state, you are not fit for anything. Because no matter what you say, you'll come across as needy and it'll push them away. See, it's not about what you say, it's about who you are. Even if you send them some magic text saying all the right things, to them, you're still the same person they don't want to be with. Look, I can give you all the right things to say and do, and I will if you watch this video until the end. Yet, if you don't make a fundamental change in who you are, it's not really going to land or make them want to be with you. And even if you do get them back, you're always going to feel like you're walking on eggshells, like you're just one argument away from breaking up again. And that's not how you want to live. You want to get out of this crazy codependent state so that you can finally regain your peace of mind and sanity. The question is, how do you do it? Well, here's the secret. You have to be happy on your own, with or without your ex. In other words, the person you're with should add to your happiness, not define it. That was my mindset when I went to her place that night, and that's how I was able to get her back. So regardless of whether you want to get over your ex or get them back, the first thing you have to do is detach yourself from the situation and focus on being happy on your own. That way you actually have a chance of getting them back, and even if you don't get back together, you'll be fine either way. So now that you know the secret, you're one step closer to actually turning your life around. But in order to use the secret correctly, you need to know the secret sauce. In other words, you need to know when the secret will actually work. And here's the kicker. It won't work if you're not actually detached from the outcome. Sure, you can act detached and you can try to pretend like you don't care, but they'll be able to sense it, especially women. They'll be able to feel you subtly defending yourself and trying to explain and justify things, rather than just coming from a place of power and wholeness. In other words, you can't fake it. In order for it to work, you actually have to be okay with yourself with or without them. That way, even if it doesn't work out, you won't have to go through this pain all over again. That nauseating feeling that you have in your stomach, that tightness that you feel in your chest, and that never-ending stream of thoughts that just never seems to escape your mind. Listen, I don't want you to have to go through that again. The question is, what do you do? How do you break the attachment so that you actually have a chance of getting back with your ex, and so you don't end up devastated if it doesn't work out in the long run? Well, you don't do it by hanging on to their every last word, analyzing it to death, trying to figure out what you should do. That only makes it worse. And yet, that's what most people do. Every single day I get hundreds of emails from people freaking out, saying things like, "Oh my God, my ex just said this. What do I do? What should I say back to them?" And that's because they don't understand that it's not about what you say. It's about who you are. When you don't understand this, your natural reaction is going to be to try even harder, saying things like, "But I love you so much." And while that may be true, to your ex, it all sounds very manipulative. It basically says, I'm desperate and I'll pretty much do and say anything I can to get you back. And that's why it doesn't get through to them or have the impact you want. See, you could pour out your heart to them for days on end, and it won't make any difference. Perhaps you already have, and now you realize that you actually hurt yourself more in the process by making yourself completely vulnerable, only to get rejected again. And guess what? Rejection stings. In fact, a recent psychological study at the University of Michigan just revealed that the pain of rejection that we feel after a breakup actually triggers the same part of our brain that feels physical pain. In other words, the pain you feel from a breakup is no different than the pain you'd feel if someone slapped you in the face. Except the pain of a breakup usually hurts a lot more, and it usually lingers a lot longer than just a slap to the face. And the worst part about it is, unlike physical pain, emotional pain doesn't just go away on its own, contrary to what most people think. See, most people think that if they just wait it out, time will just magically make things better. Yet, this could not be further from the truth. In fact, that right there is one of the biggest reasons that so many people spend such a long time suffering after a breakup. Now, I'll share more on this in just a second, and I'm also going to share the fastest way to heal a broken heart after a breakup, so keep watching. First, I want you to know that what you're feeling right now is completely normal. There's nothing wrong with you. So don't beat yourself up for being weak or for letting this affect you as much as it has. It's not your fault. We all go through this. The problem is no one ever taught you how to get through it. Where have you ever learned anything about how to deal with emotional pain, let alone how to deal with a breakup? Nowhere. Sure, we might get some occasional advice about it from our friends and family, but it doesn't actually help us deal with all the pain we're feeling. I remember when I asked people for advice, they would just tell me things like, there's plenty of fish in the sea, or if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Well, that didn't really help. And a couple of my friends told me things like, you can do better anyway. And while that sounded nice and comforting, it didn't actually help me deal with all the pain I was feeling. So just like you, I started searching online for advice, hoping to find something that would actually help. Yet all I found was cliche advice like just give it time or time heals all wounds. Now, I bet you heard that one before too. In fact, you may even believe that to be true, yet this is not even close to the truth. In fact, this advice is the reason why most people suffer for months and years after a relationship ends. See, most people think that it's just some temporary phase that'll magically go away over time. And if you're having a hard time dealing with it, that just means you have to do something to stay busy and distract yourself. And if that's what you've been trying to do, then you're using what I call the avoid and hope strategy. And it goes like this. I'm just going to stay busy so I don't have to think about it, and hopefully things will get better with time. I don't know about you, but that didn't work very well for me. Yet, anytime I asked for advice, people would tell me to just give it time. Okay, but what are you actually supposed to do during that time? Are there things you can do to get over it faster, or are you just supposed to sit around and suffer? Plus, if time really is the magic cure, then why do some people get over it in a matter of weeks, while others suffer for months and sometimes even years? What's their secret? Or is there even really a secret in the first place? Can you actually affect how long it takes to get over a breakup? Or does it all just depend on time? And if that's the case, then how long does it take to heal a broken heart? Well, here's what a few people said when they were asked that exact same question.
A real broken heart, probably a good 6 months.
At least a year.
I would say a couple of months, maybe a year.
It's taken me about 2 years.
It takes around probably 6 months for me.
I don't know if you do get over it.
So a couple of people got over it in 6 months. Most people said it took them about a year, while a couple of people said that it took them up to 2 years. And then the last guy said that, I don't know if you ever really get over it. Well, the good news is you can get over it. But here's the bad news. If you cared enough about them to be heartbroken and enough to still be thinking about them, then there's really no way around feeling some pain. The question is, how much pain and for how long? How much longer are you going to let your ex have this power over you? And how much longer are you going to let this relationship consume your life? Look, it doesn't have to take you 6 to 12 months to heal a broken heart, and you definitely don't have to spend 2 years suffering like most people do. But the truth is, if you're hurting this bad, there's a chance that you might, and I don't want that to happen to you. Pay close attention to what I'm about to say, because I'm going to show you the shortcut to getting over a breakup. What I did was I took all the best secrets I learned from over 10 years of research, as well as actually working with people one-on-one, and I condensed it into a simple, step-by-step method that anyone can use to heal their broken heart. Now, you learned about one of the most important secrets today, the attachment principle. You learned that you need to be happy on your own, with or without your ex. Yet, what I shared with you in this video is really just the tip of the iceberg. I've actually laid out an entire step-by-step process for people like you who are heartbroken and don't know what to do. Once again, my name's Kevin, and I'm the creator of The Breakup Cure. The Breakup Cure is the only relationship program that's ever been created to help you survive the breakup and be at peace with yourself no matter what happens. In this program, I'm going to take you by the hand and show you exactly what to do to heal a broken heart. This is literally the shortcut to getting over a breakup, without experiencing all the ups and downs that come from not knowing where things are going, without waking up and thinking about them every single morning, without obsessing about them throughout the day, and without thinking about them when you're all by yourself at night. This radically simple program will work for you even if you feel like your situation is hopeless and you've already tried everything. This program will work for you regardless of whether you want to get over your ex or get them back. Because no matter what you want to do, the first thing you have to do is break the attachment and focus on being happy on your own. That way, you actually have a chance of getting them back, and even if you don't get back together, you'll be fine either way. Now, before we go any further, it's only fair that I be 100% honest with you. Let me tell you what the Breakup Cure is not, just so you know exactly what you're about to experience today. So, this is not a magic pill. And this is not one of those programs that promises you something silly like, just say this one magic thing to your ex and they'll instantly come crawling back to you, begging and pleading for your love and forgiveness, swearing up and down that you're the only one for them. Look, there's tons of programs like that, but this is not one of them. I refuse to lie to you and tell you that you can get them back no matter what situation you're in. After all, people break up for a reason, and some things just aren't meant to be. And if that's the case, no amount of psychological tricks are going to change that. And that's why most people who buy all those Get Your Ex Back programs fail to actually get their ex back. And the worst part is they usually have nothing to show for it except some flimsy 50-page ebook telling them to cut contact, work on yourself, go to the gym, and start dating other people. That's basically every single ebook on how to get your ex back summarized in one sentence. Some of the fancier ones will tell you to send them a message to meet up for coffee, yet most of the time they won't even respond to you because they've already moved on. And that's when people finally come to me to learn how to deal with it. In fact, here's an actual Facebook message that I got from a woman who bought my program after trying a whole bunch of other stuff first. So I got a message from a woman named Kat saying, "Hey Kevin, I just purchased your program and I've been stuck in this breakup depression for 7 months now. I've spent countless dollars on other ebooks and programs, so I'm praying this one works." And then she sent me this message on March 16th, literally 5 weeks later, saying, "Hey Kevin, I'm actually doing really well. My ex has a new girlfriend now, and as much as I thought it would kill me, it actually gave me a ton of closure. I'm happier than ever with my new situation, and I'm loving the single life. I'm happy for my ex that he found someone else who may be more compatible for him than I was, and there's no doubt in my mind that I will find the right person for me as well. Thank you again so much for your help and kind words. Hugs and kisses, Kat." Now, how was she able to get over it so fast, especially after suffering for over 7 months and spending hundreds of dollars on other ebooks and programs? Well, the reason she got over it so fast is because she followed my proven step-by-step formula for getting over a breakup. See, it's one thing to get advice from your friends and family telling you that you should just move on and forget about it. But as you already know, it's not that easy. If it was, then you probably wouldn't be looking for advice online. See, what you need is some professional advice. Advice from someone who's helped thousands of people that have gone through the same thing as you. Look, I know it might feel like you're all alone, but there are literally thousands, if not millions of people that are going through the exact same thing right now. I know because I've dedicated my life to helping them. And here's an actual email that I received from someone else who got my program. I got an email from Stuart saying, "Hi Kevin, I just got dumped and the best advice on the internet came from watching your videos and reading your book. So many other people were giving advice on how to get back with your ex. What a bunch of crap. I listened to some of your videos 2 and even 3 times. The things you said really helped me understand that what I was going through was normal, and your honesty was exactly what I needed to hear. It truly made me feel better to listen to you and your advice. Thanks again for all your wisdom and understanding. I really needed to hear what you had to say." I've gotten hundreds of emails just like this after releasing my program. I also became a certified coach with the Life Coach Institute, and I completed my couples therapy training with the Gottman Relationship Institute, which is based on over 40 years of research on what makes marriages succeed or fail. After that, I started my own private practice as a relationship and breakup coach, and I got so good at the stuff that people started calling me the breakup doctor. Now, even though I've helped thousands of people from all around the world, at the end of the day, I'm just a regular guy. I'm really a lot like you. I just happened to go through so much hell that I finally decided that I was going to figure this thing out. And in the process, I discovered a formula, a simple step-by-step method to get through the heart-wrenching pain after a relationship ends. I call it the breakup cure. Now, you might be wondering what exactly is included in the breakup cure. So the breakup cure has three main parts. First, you have the breakup cure videos. These simple, straight-to-the-chase videos will walk you through the proven step-by-step process that I've developed after working with hundreds of people one-on-one. At the end of each video, you'll get a specific exercise that you can do immediately after you watch it, so that you can get the relief you really want and need. Next, you have the Breakup Cure audios. I've included a complete audio version of the entire program at no extra cost. That way you can easily listen to it on your phone, in your car, or on your iPod. That way you can absorb all the materials even if you're really busy and always on the go. You can listen to it on your morning commute, on the way back home from work, or even at the gym. Now, you'll also get a complete ebook of the entire program. You can literally download it in less than a minute and read it on your computer, your phone, your laptop, your iPad, or even your Kindle. Now, let's take a look at what you'll actually learn in the Breakup Cure. So, the Breakup Cure is composed of two main parts. The outer shell, which is focused on what to say, and then the inner core, which is focused on who you are. Now, I know you're probably dying to know the right thing to say to them. So when you get my program, I'm going to flat out give you all the right things to say and do to get your ex to open up and respond to you. In fact, I'm even going to give you the exact word-for-word cut and paste email templates that I've given to all my private clients. That way you'll know exactly what to do without agonizing over what to say or how to say it. You'll never have to worry about coming across as desperate or needy because it's already laid out and done for you. Just copy and paste this message into an email, text, or even a Facebook message, and you'll know exactly what to say so that you actually have a chance of getting them back. I call this the opening move. Now, if you feel like you already blew it by acting desperate, either by drunk dialing them or terrorizing them with text messages, I'm going to show you exactly what to do to bounce back from it. I actually have an entirely separate template that tells you exactly what to say to get them to overlook all the mistakes you made. Now, like I said earlier, nothing you say will actually do anything unless you make a change from within, which is why the second part of this course is focused on how to transform your inner core so that what you say is actually congruent. In section 1, you're going to learn how to deal with rejection and rebuild your confidence. Remember when I said that a recent study in psychology revealed that the emotional pain of rejection after a breakup actually affects the same part of our brain as physical pain? Well, luckily, research has also revealed a scientifically proven way of overcoming heartbreak and eliminating the pain of rejection. See, the reason why everything you've tried so far hasn't worked for you is because it doesn't really deal with the root of the problem. All the advice you read online or in those cheesy self-help books just gives you fluffy bubblegum advice like, just give it some time and focus on yourself, give yourself a makeover, go out with your friends, curl up with a jug of ice cream. So instead of giving you more crappy advice, I'm going to teach you a scientifically proven technique that drills right to the source of the problem so that you can actually get rid of all the pain you're feeling and rebuild your confidence. I call it the rejection reversal method. And the best part is it's super easy to do. All you have to do is say a simple 11-word phrase out loud while tapping a few key points on your body, and the pain will instantly vanish. I promise this is unlike anything you've ever seen before. Every time I've used this technique with my private clients, their whole mood would instantly change and they'd start feeling better within a matter of minutes. My clients paid me hundreds of dollars to take them through this process in a private session, and I'm going to guide you through the exact same thing when you get this program. This exercise is so powerful that I decided to share it with you in the very first video so that you can get the relief that you so desperately want right now. In section 2, you're going to learn why your ex is acting cold and distant and how to get them to open up. If you've been frustrated by their lack of responses and baffled at how cold and distant they've been, you'll finally understand why they're acting that way and why it feels like they're just a totally different person now. Once you understand what's really going on, you'll finally know how to respond to them and what you should do next. Plus, you'll be able to adjust your expectations accordingly so you don't get all down and disappointed if they don't respond the way you want them to. Honestly, just this one thing alone can save you hours of frustration and confusion. In section 3, we're going to talk about whether you should try to get back with your ex or just move on. You're going to learn the number one thing that you absolutely must do if you want to get your ex back, and how screwing up this one thing can actually push them in someone else's arms. You're also going to learn a powerful visualization exercise that you can use to brace yourself for the worst so that you can be okay no matter what happens. This is a powerful coping technique that me and a lot of other cutting-edge coaches use in our private practice. And I'm going to guide you through the exact same thing without you having to step foot in a therapist's office and without spending hundreds of dollars on counseling. If you know that deep down your ex is not the right person for you, and yet you still have a hard time letting go, in section 4, you're going to learn how to fall out of love with your ex by using a special technique called the focus shifter. This method actually stems from neurolinguistic programming, or NLP, and it will literally retrain your brain into falling out of love with your ex. Once you learn this method, you'll finally be able to move on with your life without thinking about all the things you're going to miss and without telling yourself that you'll never find anyone like them again. Do you have a feeling that your ex will eventually come back around, and are you worried that you'll give in and take them back? In this section, you're going to learn a simple 3-step process that will give you the strength to resist their attempts, no matter how weak you've been in the past. Once you learn this technique, you'll never have to worry about what to do if they come back around, because deep down you'll know they're not the right person for you, and you'll be okay with that. And when people ask you what happened, you'll be able to say that it didn't work out and it's for the best, and actually mean it, without feeling sad or upset over how it ended. In section 5, I'm going to cover another really common question that I get asked all the time, which is, should I try to be friends with my ex? The answer to this may surprise you. If you broke up and promised each other that you'd still be friends, make sure you watch the 5th video in the program right away, otherwise you may end up rooting the relationship to the point where it's practically impossible to even be friends with them later. Switching from lovers to friends is not an instant thing. However, I'm going to show you the quickest and easiest way to do it if you really want to be friends with them in the future. If you never make the switch, not only will you sabotage any chance you have of being friends with them, but you also prevent yourself from moving on and finding someone new. And if you try to be friends with your ex too early, before making the switch, you're only going to end up hurting yourself even more in the process. Not only are you going to be constantly reminded of what you can't have every time you talk to them, it's going to kill you to see them moving on and dating other people while you still have feelings for them. In this section, I'm also going to answer another really common question I get, which is, should I just cut contact with them completely? So this is the tried and true advice, and it does work. The question is, are you actually doing it? See, the problem is, it's just so hard to do. Plus, a part of you probably doesn't even want to cut contact with them. And even if you do finally muster up the strength to do it, there's going to be a time where you start thinking about them and missing them, and you'll get this sudden urge to call or text them. Maybe you get this urge when something in your life happens and you're just so used to sharing it with them. Or maybe it's just to say hi and see how they're doing or wish them a happy birthday. Whatever that situation is for you, I'm going to teach you how to resist that urge to contact them, even in your weakest moments. Once you learn this trick, you'll know exactly what to do when you feel tempted to call or text them, even though deep down you know you shouldn't. This is the secret to actually making no contact work. Without this, you're just going to give in your moments of weakness and loneliness, and you'll end up sending that text you know you shouldn't send, or that email or Facebook message hoping to get some kind of response, only to end up disappointed when it doesn't pan out the way you wanted. Speaking of Facebook, have you been tempted to check their profile just to see what they're up to? And do you usually give in to that temptation, only to end up feeling worse after going through their profile? In section 5, you're going to learn a special trick that you can use to resist checking their profile without having to delete your account or avoid being online. Once you learn this trick, you'll finally be able to stop Facebook stalking them. Do you find yourself constantly thinking about them to the point where you can barely even focus at work or at school? In section 6, you're going to learn how to stop thinking about your ex by using a special technique called the thought tamer. The next time you catch yourself thinking about them, just say this magic 9-word phrase to redirect your thoughts and instantly take back control of your mind. Once you do, you'll be able to focus on whatever you were doing before you got distracted, and you'll finally be able to concentrate at work and in school. Honestly, just this one technique alone is easily worth the cost of the entire program. After you get it, go ahead and watch the 6th video right away, and you'll learn exactly what to do to stop obsessing about your ex. You can literally learn this technique in under 5 minutes and use it the next time you catch yourself thinking about them. Just this one trick alone can literally save you hours of unnecessary suffering. Are you pissed that your ex could just throw everything away without really giving you any kind of explanation or closure? In section 7, you're going to learn an incredibly powerful technique called the complete closure method. This is a simple, works every time way to get the closure you need so you can finally let go of whatever you're holding on to. And here's the kicker. If you don't get closure, you'll never be able to truly move on with your life, and you'll never have the peace of mind that you so desperately want. You're constantly going to be thinking about stuff in the back of your mind, trying to figure out what went wrong, why the relationship ended, and what you could have done differently. The tricky part about getting closure is that your ex probably didn't give you any reason for breaking up with you, or at least not the real reason. And because of that, you probably never really got the closure you needed, even when you tried to reach out to them. That's why I specifically developed this technique to help you get the closure you need, even if your ex won't respond to you. Sure, it'd be nice if they did, but in most cases, you have to give yourself your own closure. And the complete closure method is by far the quickest and easiest way to do it. This is one of the most powerful techniques in the entire program, and this is where a lot of my clients have their biggest breakthrough. Do you find yourself replaying all the what if and what could have been scenarios? In section 8, you're going to learn how to stop obsessing about all the things you should have done. You're going to learn a simple way to stop blaming yourself for what happened. This is actually a really simple fix, and once you learn it, you'll be able to forgive yourself for what happened and move on with your life without beating yourself up for all the mistakes you made. Best of all, you'll finally be able to move on with your life without thinking about what could have happened if only you had acted differently. I'm also going to share another sneaky trick that our mind plays a few months after the breakup and how this mental glitch can actually prevent you from moving on. This one mistake can literally undo all your progress and put you right back to square one. I've seen this happen time and time again with every client in my private practice, and they were so happy that I helped them catch themselves before they did something stupid. You're also going to learn how to let go of any anger and resentment that you have towards your ex so that you actually have a chance of rebuilding a relationship with them in the future. Or if you already know that you don't want to be with them, I'm going to show you how to forgive both you and your ex for everything that happened so that you can move on without becoming all bitter and cynical about relationships. So many people lose hope in love altogether, thinking all men are assholes or all women are bitches. And while I know it may be tempting to feel that way, I'm going to show you how to heal all the pain and hurt you're feeling so that you can actually love and trust again. And that's just a tiny sneak peek of what you'll learn in the Breakup Cure. This program has 12 sections in total, and I just gave you a taste of the first 8. All you have to do is follow along with each section, and you'll finally get back to feeling like yourself again. Just imagine how good it would feel to be at peace with yourself, knowing deep in your heart that you'll be okay no matter what happens. Imagine how good it would feel to know that even if this relationship doesn't work out, you'll be able to get through it and be happy again. Even though this might sound impossible now, if you follow this program and you do what it says, not only will you regain your peace of mind, but you'll also learn how to be happy on your own, with or without your ex. Now, you may believe that a program that can do this much for you would cost a pretty penny. And in all honesty, it really should. After all, the system has helped thousands of people just like you eliminate the pain and confusion after a breakup. Now, I'll get to the price in just a moment. First, I want to share a couple special bonuses that you're going to get with this one-of-a-kind system. So when you order today, you're going to get a special audio that reveals a revolutionary new method for healing a broken heart on autopilot. It was actually developed by one of my colleagues by the name of Dr. Anna Michelle. Dr. Michelle has a master's degree in psychology and is also a certified grief counselor. But what makes her really unique is that she's a hypnotherapist. Now, I know that might sound kind of weird or spooky, but hypnotherapy is really just about harnessing the power of your subconscious mind. And what Dr. Michelle did is she actually used her experience in hypnotherapy to develop a revolutionary new method for healing a broken heart through your subconscious mind. So instead of wasting your time obsessing about everything that happened, all you have to do is hit play and let this magic CD heal your broken heart for you. I wouldn't be surprised if this starts to put a lot of these therapists out there out of business. This method is controversial, but it works like crazy. You really got to hear it to believe it. Now, this hypnosis CD normally sells for $49.95, but you'll be able to download it for free when you order the Breakup Cure. Next, you'll get a special interview I did with one of my close friends and colleagues by the name of Dr. Joe Siegler. Dr. Siegler is a board-certified psychiatrist and a pioneer in the field of coaching. You may have heard of the best-selling book that he published with Wiley called Fire Your Therapist. Now, in this interview, Dr. Siegler is going to pull back the curtain and reveal the ugly truth about therapy. He's going to show you why therapy might not be working for you and what you can do about it. Plus, he's going to teach you how to get over a breakup without blowing thousands of dollars on counseling or spending years in therapy. Now, Dr. Siegler normally charges over $250 for a private session, but I got him to spill some of his best secrets in this private tell-all interview, which normally sells for $49.95. And the third and final bonus that you're going to get today is a special ebook I wrote on how to stop thinking about your ex in less than 60 days guaranteed. In this ebook, you're going to learn the most cutting-edge tactics to get your ex out of your head once and for all. And this ebook normally costs $37. Now, if you were to buy all this stuff separately, it would cost you over $135. The breakup cure alone normally costs $97. That brings it to a total value of over $235. However, you won't have to pay up to $250 to learn all these secrets. You won't even have to pay $150. In fact, you won't even pay $97, which is what this program has normally been selling for every single day. Your total investment today, which includes the breakup cure and all the special bonuses, is now just one payment of only $67. That's less than one evening out at a fancy restaurant and less than one night out at the bar with your friends. Less than one new outfit or one new pair of shoes, and it's less than the cost of one visit to a therapist or couples counselor, and a lot less than the cost of a messy divorce. Listen, you don't have to decide now. Take advantage of my 100% triple peace of mind guarantee. Download the Breakup Cure right now and try it out for yourself for 60 days. If you don't feel like it's helped you see things from a different perspective, or if you don't feel like it's given you more clarity and peace of mind, just send me an email to help@breakuprelief.com and I'll gladly refund you every single penny. Plus, I'll even let you keep the program and all the special bonuses as my way of saying thanks for giving it a shot and actually making an effort to do something about it, instead of just sitting around and waiting for time to make things better. So go ahead and scroll down right below this video. Click the Add to Cart button to claim your discounted price, and you'll get instant access to everything. Read it and apply it over the next 60 days, and if you don't see a noticeable difference in how you think and feel, just send me an email and I'll give you a full refund. Now, you might be thinking, why am I offering such a crazy guarantee? Well, the reason I'm able to offer this with such confidence is because I've personally used all these methods to survive my breakup, and I know just how well they work. Plus, I've used all these methods to help thousands of people from all around the world, and I've received tons of raving reviews. And here's an actual email that I got from someone who is in the exact same shoes as you, watching this same video. They decided to get my program, and here's what happened. I got an email from a guy named Jeff saying, "Hey Kevin, I was having a rough day about an ex that I hadn't spoken to for months, and some little thing happened that just seemed to bring back that rock in my stomach. I was pissed, mad at myself and her new man, etc., and I wanted answers. I started watching your video, and even though my bank account is suffering at the moment, I downloaded the book and paid, thinking of course that I can always get my money back. I won't go into all the details of what had stirred in me, but I instantly felt the ache lessen, the pain lift, and as best as I can describe it, my stomach filled with butterflies at all the possibilities that I now saw in front of me. I smiled a real smile for the first time in a while. I can powerfully feel myself healing. You are a blessing, Jeff." Now, here's another email that I got from a woman who bought my program and actually used it to get back with her fiancé. So I got an email from Marta saying, "Hey Kevin, I got your book about a month ago, and these books and your videos, just this great knowledge you have, helped me through the first few weeks. I was so desperate, so sad that I really think I reached the very bottom. It's been about a month and a half, and I did all the thinking you recommended, and I don't question why he decided to break up or how he could leave me after all the things we've been through. I still think about him though and miss him, and sometimes can't even believe that I will meet someone better or someone that I will love the same way because we were engaged. But thanks to you, I feel more confident, and I know that I'm in charge of my happiness. Thank you, Kevin, for showing me that my ex filled this need in me that I never really developed in myself. And now the opportunity I have is to find my own happiness, no matter if he is here or not. Thank you, Kevin, for this book, for the time you dedicated to it, and for the hope you gave me. I know I still have a ways to go, but thanks to you, I'm on the right path, and it's a bit easier." Now, I got this message from her a few months later saying, "Hi Kevin, I got back with my boyfriend and now we are very happy. I think what I learned from you made me realize some of the previous mistakes I made, so right now it's like a fresh start for us." And as you can see in her profile picture, that's her back with her beloved, the man she was engaged to. So that was really awesome for me to read. Look, if these people were able to do it, you can do it too. All you have to do is do what they did and download my program. Look below this video right now, click the Add to Cart button to claim your discounted price, and once you do, you'll join thousands of success stories like Jeff and Marta. Plus, if you act now before this presentation ends, I'm going to toss in another special bonus worth $97. When you order today, you're going to get access to an exclusive relationship clarity call where you can join me and a select group of people that are going through the same thing as you and get my personal advice on your situation. If you need help getting over your ex, getting them back, or simply figuring out where you stand, just hop on the call and I'll help you figure out what you should do. You'll have the chance to ask me any question you want, and you'll get custom tailored advice based on your specific situation. This exclusive monthly coaching call is normally $97. Yet, if you order today, you're going to get this month's call absolutely free. You'll also get a chance to get 70% off all my future calls, and you'll be able to lock in an ultra low price of only $37 for each coaching call. This bonus brings your total value to over $350. Yet, if you act now, it's all yours for just one payment of only $67. Now, you're probably thinking, should I buy this or not? Well, you've really got three choices here. Option one is to do nothing. If you want, you can click the X button at the top of this page and risk losing your ex forever, and then spend the next few weeks, months, and sometimes even years suffering over the breakup and thinking about them. Now, option two is to keep using all the common sense advice that hasn't really helped you so far. Talking to your friends and family, going out, trying to meet other people, working out, staying busy, and basically just using the avoid and hope strategy that I mentioned earlier. The problem is these are all just distractions, and they don't really help you deal with the heart of the issue. Sure, you can tell yourself that it'll eventually just go in its own, but someday you're going to realize that no matter how busy you keep yourself today, you're still going to think about them tomorrow or the next day or during those moments where you're all alone. The only way to truly get rid of all the pain you're feeling is to face it head on and deal with it. Now, how you deal with it is totally up to you. You can deal with it now, or you can try to avoid it for a few more months and deal with it later. But either way, you're going to have to deal with it. Option three is to deal with it now. Do what thousands of people have already done and get the breakup cure, where you're going to learn the shortcut to getting over a breakup. Why spend months trying to figure everything out on your own when I've already done all the hard work for you and I'm literally just giving you the shortcut? Now, if you're still not sure, just think of it this way. What's the worst thing that could possibly happen? You get the program, you try it out, it doesn't help, and you send me an email and get all your money back? Plus, I'll even let you keep the program and all the special bonuses as my way of saying thanks for giving it a shot and actually making the effort to do something about it, instead of just sitting around and waiting for time to make things better. Now, what's the best thing that could happen? Well, you can finally heal and rebuild your confidence. You can regain your joy in life and become a stronger and better you. Look, you've been stressing out over your relationship for far too long, and the pain of continuing to live this way will only lead to even more pain and frustration. Yet, all of this can change the moment you start applying the easy-to-use principles in the breakup cure. Picture the moment that you can finally rest your head on your pillow at night, knowing deep in your heart that you'll be okay no matter what happens. Just imagine finally getting a good night's sleep and waking up in the morning excited to start your day. You feel alive, full of hope and confidence, instead of feeling lonely and desperate, constantly obsessing over everything that happened. Look, it doesn't have to be this way. You can get over this. The problem is, no one ever taught you how to deal with the breakup. So if you're feeling down and you don't know what to do, it's not your fault. You were never taught this stuff anywhere. But even though it's not your fault, it is your problem. And if you have this problem, then it's up to you to do something about it. I'm flat out giving you the shortcut here, yet you're the one that has to decide whether you want to use it to get over it fast, or if you want to ignore what I'm saying and spend the next 6 to 12 months trying to figure everything out on your own. Look, I've done it on my own, and after I got through it, I promised myself that I was going to share what I learned so that other people don't have to go through the same thing I did. I've literally dedicated my life to creating the most complete and comprehensive program on how to survive a breakup. I've condensed everything you need to know into a simple step-by-step method that you can use to be at peace with yourself no matter what happens. I've literally done everything I could to make this as easy as possible for you, and I've also made it as affordable as possible too. This program has normally been selling for $97 every single day, and it's already helped thousands of people from all around the world. Now, I know that $97 may seem like a lot to some people, and I don't want the price to hold you back from getting my program and experiencing the peace of mind you deserve. That's why I've decided to drop the price for a limited time to only one payment of $67. You do not want to put this off 1 second longer, and here's why. First, as you recall, this program normally sells for $97, and I'm giving it to you today at the lowest price I've ever offered it. And eventually, I'm going to raise the price back to where it deserves to be. So make sure you grab it at the lowest price today before it goes back up to $97. Remember, I'm also including 4 special bonuses today that would normally cost you $250 if you were to buy them separately. When you order the complete new edition of The Breakup Cure, you're going to get a special audio hypnosis CD for healing a broken heart on autopilot, which is normally a $49.95 value. Just hit play anytime you're feeling down, and you'll literally start feeling better within a matter of minutes. Next, you're going to get a special bonus ebook on how to get your ex out of your head for good. This is normally a $37 value. Next, you're going to get a special interview I did with Dr. Joe Siegler on why therapy might not be working for you and what you can do about it. This interview can save you a fortune on medication and doctor bills, and this is normally a $49.95 value. And you're also going to get my super bonus, which is an exclusive relationship clarity call, where you can call in and get my advice on your situation. This live coaching call normally costs $97, and I'm giving you the chance to experience it this month absolutely free. However, the conference line that we use for this call can only hold a limited number of people. So if you're confused or frustrated about something that happened, make sure you reserve your spot on this call while it's still available. When you add this coaching call on top of everything else you're getting, this has a total value of over $350. Yet, if you act now, you can get the entire program and all the special bonuses for just one payment of $67. Look, I know you've already spent way more than $67 on your ex, whether that was during your relationship in a desperate attempt to get them back or in a misguided attempt to get over them. Obviously, that didn't help, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video right now. The question is, are you willing to invest $67 in something that'll actually help? If so, then go ahead and click the Add to Cart button right below this video and claim your discounted price. After you fill out the order form on the next page, you'll get instant access to everything. After you download the program, flip to section 2 on page 37. In this section, you'll learn why your ex is acting cold and distant right now, and you'll also discover exactly what to say to get them to open up. I'll even give you exact word-for-word templates so that you never agonize over what to say or how to say it. I'll also show you how to be happy on your own, with or without your ex. When you're in this state, they'll literally be magnetically drawn to you. They won't even be able to help themselves. They'll be the one chasing you, and you'll finally have the upper hand knowing that you'd be totally fine with or without them. And you'll finally be at peace with yourself, knowing deep in your heart that you'll be okay no matter what happens. In this very moment, you have the power to change. Every day that goes by is another day that you give up your joy, your power, your happiness, and ultimately your life. Look, everyone else will tell you, oh, just give it time, yet I refuse to let you off with a bunch of meaningless advice that doesn't actually deal with the root of the problem. That's like going to a doctor with a broken leg, hoping to get something to make the pain go away, only to get a sympathetic pat on the back telling you they're sorry about your pain and that you just have to go home and give it some time to heal. I'm pissed off. I'm angry that there's so much bad advice and misinformation out there, that people are wasting years of their life suffering, not knowing what to do, thinking that all they have to do is let some time pass. This bothers me to no end, and I want to put a stop to it. I want to do something about it. I want to help you. I want to help you get back to feeling like yourself again. See, this really isn't about your ex anymore. This is about you and what you're willing to do for yourself. I know in my heart that I have the resources to help you, but you have to be willing to help yourself. If you're not willing to do that, even the best resources in the world won't help. I truly believe that this is the #1 best program on how to survive a breakup, but it only works if you're willing to use it. So no slimy sales tactics here, just a sincere extension of my hand to help you through this hard time. I really hope you see the value here, and I really hope you decide to invest in yourself. Click the Add to Cart button right below this video, fill out the order form in the next page, and I promise that you'll be feeling better by tonight. Still here? Still thinking? Well, as you can imagine, I get a lot of questions about this program. So let me go ahead and answer some of the most common questions I get, and hopefully answer any last questions that you have as you sit here thinking about it. So question one is, how does this work and how quickly will I get everything? You can get access to everything literally in less than 5 minutes. All you have to do is click the Add to Cart button below this page and then fill out the order form on the next page. And then after that, you're going to get redirected to a private members area where you can get access to all the information right away. You can download everything from there, the books, the audios, the videos, and all the special bonuses. Now, as far as how it works, you can pay with any major credit card, and if you don't have a credit card, you can easily pay using a debit card or a checking account. You can even use PayPal if you prefer to do it that way. Either way, the entire process is very quick and easy, and you'll be able to get everything within a matter of minutes. If you have any trouble at any point throughout the process, just send us an email at help@breakuprelief.com, and you'll get a super fast response from our friendly support staff. Now, question number two is, does this work for both men and women? The answer is yes. The feeling of heartbreak is universal. Regardless of gender or sexual orientation or anything, the underlying feelings of loss, of hurt, of sadness, of loneliness, of betrayal, they're the same thing. And this material has benefited people in every single walk of life, from every single country and every situation. It's crazy. So yes, it will help you. In fact, I actually got an email from a guy named Felix who's actually gay, and he wrote me an email saying that he basically hit rock bottom, got cheated on, and went through just a really tough time in life. And then he said, I paid thousands of dollars seeing psychiatrists. I went to the Bahamas, to Mexico, to New York City, all to try to erase him from my life, and everything was in vain. I just couldn't erase the images out of my head of him cheating on me. And then he got around to saying, anyhow, your book really helped me get over my depression. I'm still in the process of getting over my ex, but if I would have found your book months ago, I would have been okay by now. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you for writing the book and for giving real advice. Not that time heals or karma will make them pay crap that we read all over. I know your clients are probably not the same orientation as I am, but we all suffer the same way. So as you can see, it will literally help anyone from any walk of life. As long as you got ears and you can hear, or as long as you got eyes and you can see and read, this material will help you. Question number three is, my situation is kind of complicated. How do I know if this will help me? Look, every situation is complicated. Breakups are never easy. It's never easy to just walk away from the person you love and get over it like nothing ever happened. There's always a few complicated things that come up in every situation, a few things that linger. But with that said, all the underlying emotions that we feel, like I said, the feeling of heartbreak, of betrayal, of loss, those are all core universal feelings, and this program will help you deal with those. It'll help you let go of a lot of what you're feeling right now, and also help you figure out what to say and how to move forward. As you've been seeing from some of the emails I got, and everyone's situation was a little bit unique or a little bit complicated, and this material has helped them. So let me make this easy for you. If you could relate to any part of what I said in this video, if any part of you just really spoke to you, then the program will help you. I guarantee it, But the thing is, you don't have to take my word for it. You can actually get the program and you can try it out for yourself. And if for any reason it doesn't help you, I'll give you your money back. I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this because I want to help you. I want to share the things that I've learned from my experience and really be able to assist people on their journey of recovery and healing. So, get the program, try it out, and I think it really will help you if you really go through it and you apply yourself to it. And, as far as the situation is, complicated scenario is concerned, that's also why I threw in that extra relationship clarity call, so that you can kind of jump on the call and get my advice on whatever might be going on in your situation. That's why that bonus is there. So I hope you feel confident knowing that this material will help you too. So question number 4 is, can I really trust your money back guarantee? Yes, I stand behind my guarantee completely. If you go through the program and you don't feel like it's helped you see things in a new light, just send me an email and I'll give you a full refund. I'll have my assistant process your refund immediately, and they'll most likely even try to help you before we see you go. Look, I'm in this to help people, plain and simple. If it doesn't help you, then I don't believe I deserve your money, but I will do everything in my power to help you before I see you go. Why? Because I know just how much it hurts and how much this sucks and how difficult it can be. And I know that I would have never gotten through my situation if I didn't have someone there to help me. So, that money back guarantee is just there for you to feel safe about ordering it and for you to feel confident about giving it a shot. Almost no one ever takes me up on the guarantee. I think there's only been a few cases where this has actually happened. So, yes, you can trust it. Question number 5 is, I don't want this showing up on my credit card bill. It's embarrassing. Look, I totally understand, if you share your credit card with someone or someone sees your billing statements or just, you just don't want people to see it for whatever reason. I get it, nothing to worry about. It's not going to say anything about breakups, about relationships, about loss, anything like that. It'll be discreetly billed under the name of my publishing company so that you have nothing to worry about. So you can rest assured nothing weird will show up on your credit card statements. No one will know. This will just be between me and you. So question number 6 is your credit card information safe with me? So the answer to that is yes. The entire checkout process is actually done through a major online credit card process that runs millions of transactions every single day. Millions of dollars, probably billions a year. I partner with them to handle online billing stuff. I'm not an expert on how to do all that stuff. I partner with systems and technologies that do it. For me, it's all very encrypted and safe, and your information will be secure just like you would when you order from a major website. I use the same checkout process they do, and it's all processed externally. So, I won't even see your credit card number, so you have nothing to worry about there. So, hopefully that answers your question there. And then the last question is, how long will it take to see results? Well, it really depends on what you mean by results. I'm really confident in saying that you'll feel better by tonight, as long as you actually use the material today and you start to go through the videos, you start to read some of the reports and the ebooks, and you listen to that audio bonus and all that stuff. It'll literally start to affect you emotionally, mentally, your way of thinking, your patterns of behavior. So, right away, actually, it'll help you. And to kind of back up that bold claim, I actually want to show you a couple more emails from people that got my program and literally felt an immediate improvement. So here's an email that I got from a guy named Keith that said, "Dear Kevin, after watching your video, I immediately purchased the program without any hesitation. It took me 2 days to go through the whole thing, and the experience I got out of it was just phenomenal. After reading your book, I had a big breakthrough and realized many of the mistakes I made, constantly calling, texting, and checking up on them on Facebook. It really helped me take a step back and see things from a different perspective and realize why it didn't work out and why it ended the way it did. And let me tell you, this program really gave me an awakening on my past 2 relationships. It also helped me learn more about myself and what I need to work on before jumping into another one. I can honestly tell you that I feel much better now. I was a total wreck at first. I lost weight, I lost sleep, I couldn't focus at work, and it was just tragic. After completing the last step in the recovery process, I immediately felt the world being lifted from my shoulders, and I felt such a sense of relief, it's unexplainable. It really gave me the closure I was looking for. I hope you continue doing what you're doing, and I hope you keep making more videos to help others who are going through the same thing as me. Thank you. Yours truly, Keith." So to answer your question, it'll help you very, very, very quickly. He went through the whole program in 2 days, and he felt an indescribable sense of relief, literally within a few minutes. So you can experience the same thing too. And the thing is, Keith is really just talking about one strategy here, and that one in particular that he was talking about is called the complete closure method. There's tons of other techniques that will give you instant results. For example, remember that thought tamer technique that I mentioned earlier? You can literally use that today. The next time you catch yourself thinking about them, all you have to do is say a simple 9-word phrase to yourself, and you'll be able to redirect your thoughts and take back control of your mind. And once you learn this technique, you'll have a proven plan that you can use anytime you catch yourself drifting off and dwelling in the past. By the way, I shared this technique with one of my private coaching clients, and here's the email that he sent me the following week. He said, "Hey buddy, I just wanted to say that I really got a great deal out of recession. In fact, this past week, I don't think I've ever felt better since this whole thing started. I've been doing a lot better lately, and the thoughts have really seemed to subside a great deal after using that thought tumor technique. I've also been feeling a lot better about myself overall, and the thought of finding someone that's going to be on the same page as me and ready for a committed relationship has really been a big help. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you for everything, man. You have a great deal of knowledge, and I look forward to having another talk at some point." Look, this stuff works plain and simple, but don't take my word for it. Don't take any of these people's word for it. Just try it out for yourself. Just click the button right below this video to download my program, and I promise that you'll be feeling better by tonight.